Okay, hello. Just gonna do a quick invite here to see if anyone wants to come in and hang out. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Okay. Just inviting you guys in, see if anyone wants to come hang out. All right. Just doing some quick invites here, real quick. Let some people come on in. Hello, Brooke. How you doing? Just gonna wait and see who's coming in first. It's an open panel today, guys. Hey, Sam, good to see you, buddy. Open panel as always. It's an open panel as always. Okay. Hope everyone's having a good week this week. It is an open panel, so come on in. Let's have a conversation. For anybody new here, this is all about the true crime. But I have some updates for those who follow me, so. Oh, thank you, Amy. Good to see you. Okay. How's everybody's weekend so far? Or weeks? Sorry, not weekend. But it is going to be July 4th this week. This weekend, starting tomorrow. It's going to be pretty nice. Yep. Hope anyone doing anything fun for July 4th. I always allow Sheena to come in as long as she, doesn't do anything too bullyish. And if she, like I said, I have no qualms with her, just as long as everyone is respectful. I'm sorry, I allow everybody, even people that disagree. But it's your choice if you want to stay or not. I respect either way. But she's probably not going to be here today, so just saying. Okay. Hey, Zombie. Good to see you. It's an open panel if anyone wants to come jump in. We just started a couple of minutes ago, but we can always start in with the conversations. Just invite yourself or say you want to be invited. But anyways, we have July 4th coming up this weekend, and I hope everyone has some good plans. And yes, I'm looking forward to the England game as well. That's going to be fun to watch. Oh, thank you, Zombie. And Zombie, if you want to pop in the conversation, go right ahead and start this off. I know everyone's probably doing stuff on their Friday night. They don't want to sit on live streams, but it's up to them. But anyways, yeah, I posted some new videos today. I still have my Gypsy Rose Debunks Herself series going on right now, and that's going pretty well so far. It's funny which videos get traction as well, because it's like the ones that get traction are like the ones I'm not expecting to get traction. I posted like a picture with a caption on it. It's like got like 8,000 views in like a couple hours. It's weird. My most viewed video is just me reacting with a weird look in my face to one of Gypsy's cringeful dancings, or whatever you want to call it, cringy dancing. TikTok picks some weird stuff to put in the algorithm. Weird viral choices they pick, in my opinion. But anyways, hello, Skeet. Good to see you. It's an open panel, guys, so jump in. Let's have a conversation. Or you guys can type comments. That's fine too. It's not the best time to go live. It's a little bit late, but I'm gonna just check in with everybody anyway. See if anyone wants to come hang out. Hey, Skeet. It's an open panel, Skeet, or any of you guys but want to come in and talk. It's an open panel. And yep, if you guys are looking for some new content, I posted a few new videos today. There's one girl I responded to, and I think Audrey responded to her. A whole bunch of us did, and it's just like her comment section, like, is pretty cringy. I'm just like, none of these people looked into Gypsy's case at all. It's kind of sad, but is what it is. Is what it is. I did educate her on the response post, though. I hope she takes it seriously because it's not coming from me. It's coming from Gypsy herself. That's the greatest thing about Gypsy. She is her own worst enemy. She's her biggest enemy at the end of the day. Because the internet does not forgive or forget. It doesn't. It's just like we could just go back and find her own words and take her down. It's pretty easy to do that. And it's like everyone says, you have the minority of supporters that say leave her alone. It's like, well, that's the thing about being on the internet. It's if you're going to get on the internet, you are opening yourself up to criticism. It's as simple as that. It's like no one is. It's not. It doesn't. That's not the way it works. You don't just come on the internet, especially after you've committed a heinous crime and why we know you, and then we just have to. Everyone has to blindly support you, and you're going to be shielded from criticism. That's not what happens, especially when the only way we know you is because of a schmurder. Just saying. It's not like she's a pop singer or a musician. I'm a guitarist of 35 years. People know me for that. I teach 3 instruments out of the 5 I play. I've been in indie films, because in New York City, there's a big indie film circuit there. So, not anything big, just small stuff. I've been on tour with many bands in 9 countries, 38 states before the age of 25. And whatever I'm known for, it's definitely not going to be schmurder. It's definitely going to be something more appealing than that. Hello, Nicole. Nice to see you. You got some people in the panel. How are you guys doing?
Peachy.
Hey.
Nicole, thank you for the content. I posted a video today with that. That's pretty cool.
I saw that and I was like, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what?
I just want,
I
no,
would take a hard pass for Gypsy as well. I can resonate with where they were coming from.
no, that was the funny thing. I was just like sitting down. It was a long, hard day and I was folding my laundry and I was just flipping through and, I like watching the floor, right? And so I was watching it and it said famous criminals. I was like,
Oh, I saw
what?
that. I saw that too. That was hilarious. That was
And I
awesome.
was like,
They
what
didn't
the
know who she
what?
was. They didn't know who she was. It's just like,
No clue. No
yeah,
clue.
But
not
It
a
the
was,
clue. And then
she
when
didn't
they
even get
finally put her name up there,
a.
the one
But
goes,
the
oh,
thing that
Gypsy.
got me was like who she was aligned with.
Right.
OJ
He was a lawyer.
Simpson,
Yeah.
the Menendez brothers.
Ted Bundy. I
Uh,
saw a few on there. But what's funny is like, even after they revealed her name, she goes, oh, Gypsy Rose.
Yeah, yeah.
She was
I
annoyed.
was,
nobody even said, "Oh, she looks familiar." It
No,
wasn't even
not even.
that. It was
They didn't bat an
nothing.
eyelash at her. I'm just like,
Dead
wow.
air.
Yep. Just an awkward silence. That's all. And then hard pass. If I saw her too, I'd be passing as well. So
but I'm saying like that was the first time, like, and it was just like passed over, but it wasn't like TMZ.
no,
It was
not
like
at all. And
Rob
then
Lowe, for goodness sakes. Like,
Did you know they put Tyler Perry put her name in the Medea movie Destination Wedding?
I've
what?
seen her in a few things, and yeah, and I've even seen, but it's never anything good. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like the one thing is just like, wow, this reminds me of like Gypsy Rose Blanchard or something. Not anything good. I forget what show it was, but it's just like, she was in like it was they used a reference to her in like a movie or some show, and it's never anything good. It's never the victimhood, narrative that she oh so desires. But that's why I challenge any of her supporters to go to the current series that I posted. I did 4 parts to Gypsy Rose debunks herself series. There's 4 of them. I don't have to say nothing. This is her own words, and I'm just putting them together. In the
I've
order that they
watched it
need to be
too.
put together. It's
I've
just like
watched it too.
Maybe
I challenge. Basically, if anyone challenges me on that content, it's just like, well, if you're gonna deny this anything from these videos, you're calling Gypsy herself a liar. So I guess it's a double-edged sword for them. But I posted a new one today. Part 4 is up. So those are gonna go on forever. I'm not gonna stop with them. Dude, I found
Well,
so
see,
many
that's the
lies
whole
and
point.
inconsistencies.
Is just
Oh, yeah.
keep the focus on, exposing, this person for who she is, and
I don't think she has. Pete, I don't
the
think she has an
infighting between
IQ.
content creators is like gotten out of control, and it's like,
oh my god, it's crazy.
so I don't want to get into that. It's like,
Well,
stay
no, that's
focused,
that's that's bothering me too. Watching content creators like covering each other now and just taking stabs at each other. It's like, why are you guys doing this? Like, we're supposed to be like focused on like the justice system and making sure nothing like this happens again. Plus, there's an innocent child involved in like getting squished in the middle of this. It's just like, and you guys are gonna sit there and like brawl over what exactly? It's like I don't
It's
get it. It's
ridiculous.
really surface level
Ridiculous.
childish stuff, and it's just like I'm not pointing at one person or another, but at the same time, it's just like when I came in this community, I didn't see anything like this. You know what I mean? It's just like what's with all the drama? And my last live stream where I let Sheena in because it's like she's always been cordial with me, and like I always like opposing opinions to come in anyway. You know what I mean? I don't like echo chambers. It's like come in, let's talk. You know what I mean? And until they do something like doxing or something like just attack everybody and be disrespectful, it's like I will let them in. So that's just me.
I'm I'm sick of hearing her
I mean,
say
she's not
basically
saying
that two wrongs do make a right. Because she's like, we're gonna do it back even 10 times harder. Eye for an eye, she says. It's like, okay, let's go back to preschool, Sheena.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's fine. Again, it's just like I have no personal issues with her, so it's just like she can always. I always let anyone that at least, as long as they don't. It's like what I mean. And if I see anything get heated or ridiculous, I tell them that I try to moderate it the best I can. It's
well,
just
see, yeah, I've been in a lot of your lives, and you're always like very diplomatic for sure.
I try to be. I mean, I'm not. Again, I don't need an echo chamber necessarily. If someone wants to come and challenge me with some information, I'm ready to do it, and I'm ready to do it peacefully. You know what I mean? I'm not one. Again, it's like that's always been my life experience. Like when you talk to an opposing opinion, the 2 things I try to do is find common ground, and maybe perhaps learn something if I'm able to. I don't think I'm going to learn anything
Right.
from Bree or Sheena necessarily, but at the same time, it's like Sheena in particular. I'm not really fond of Bree coming on my panel or my life, but if she wanted to, I'd give her another chance if she was willing. If she was in advance willing to tell me she's willing to be respectful. So if she's willing to do that. Like I said, like the first time I had a thing. It's funny that she asked to come on my panel last year, and then she tells me at the end of it, "Oh, go get your clout. Go get your." I'm like, wait. You asked to come on my panel. How am I seeking
Right.
clout off you? So because there was a lot of people watching, but you know what
Well,
I mean.
that's all they have. That's their
Well, I know.
standard
I'm like,
go-to
well, what
answer.
do you
That's
mean?
all they got.
I'm like, no, not Sheena, but Bree, maybe Sheena too. Haven't you built your entire identity around defending Gypsy Rose Blanchard's blind? How many TikTok profiles has she lost? Like 50, 60? It's crazy how many times
But
that girl has had to
we're the
repost.
obsessed ones. They call us obsessed.
Oh, yes, that book is really good. Keep going. I don't understand why Morbid is going. I mean, I don't feel one way
Ugh.
or another about Morbid, but he's going after a 19-year-old author. I'm just like, that's kind of weird. He's a grown man, like probably not around my age, and he's going after a teenager that wrote a book like as a hobby, and it's a really good book, by the way. It humanizes Dee Dee. And it's crazy because not even last year, like around Christmas time, he was doing like justice for Dee Dee posts and stuff like this, and there's a pro Dee Dee book, and suddenly he's going after the author's personal life for some reason. I'm like,
He's a he causes trouble. That's his MO. That's what he does.
well,
That's what
he needs
Morbid does.
to.
He goes from community to community to community, then he busts him down, and then he'll just move on to the next one. Then he'll bust him down, and he'll move on to the next one.
Well, I
It's
mean,
gross.
that's being a troll. I mean, if that's what he wants to do with his life, fine. You know what I mean? That's not for me to say one way or another. But I would do better things with my time. Just saying.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you again, that just reveals more of who he is. And like, you know, he used to be all about, you know, and of course, to no surprise, everyone on Gypsy side suddenly, you know, very Fonda morbid. It's like very convenient. It's like, well, yeah, anyone that shifts the goalpost over to your side, you're going to instantly be Fonda. So
Well, some of us believe that he's setting them up.
you know what? Someone came up with a pretty good theory about him. Maybe this is true. Maybe he is playing over to that side to get information. That
That's
was
what I
actually
think.
if that's the case, then that's genius. That's like Joker style. Go for it.
But I
And
honestly question his ability to pull it off because he's not very bright.
well, if he pulls it
I
off,
guess we'll find out.
I
Well,
would give
I
him
mean,
some legitimate credit
he's
if
been
he is able to
compared
pull it
to
off.
kind of Howard Stern
Yeah,
esque,
I can see
you know.
that.
Well, Howard Stern from the '80s, not Howard Stern now. He became Howard Stern became everything he
I
hates. He
see.
became the embodiment of everything that he used to hate. So it's funny that you know Howard Stern is like this like political party, you know, national again like when he especially when he went on shows that used to criticize like America's Got Talent or X Factor or whatever. It's like you know he would never be a producer on a show like that. Again, I
Well,
love X Factor and America's Got
I'm
Talent.
aging myself, but I'm saying like, they used to call them, shock jocks back then,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Yep. Yep.
Rage
he got
baiters.
famous off of going against the status quo and
That's
against
how
the
they
right.
got famous,
Now,
by
yeah,
being a shock jock.
now he's part of the establishment. Now he's gone against all that. So yeah,
And so
kind of
he's
weird.
still doing like, and I seen some videos about him where somebody, I don't know who it was talking about, they were talking about Howard Stern and comparing him to him. And that's where he got his, his inspiration from, was he was trying to be like Howard Stern back in those days.
Well, it's about 40 years
And
too late.
he's not intelligent enough to, pivot or adapt.
No, not and he didn't even do it with any subtlety. He just like made a hard shift, and it's very suspicious. So you know what I mean. It's either it can be suspicious in one of two ways. Either he's seeking out information over there, and they're naive enough to take him in right away, or he is just trying to stir up the pot for his own amusement. Whatever.
He said such horrible things about Gypsy's baby. I
Yeah,
don't know how she could
that's
even.
another thing. I don't see. I've never said any bad things about Aurora. I don't even say bad things about Ken, other than like, you know, I'd say the same thing about Ryan. It's just like I don't know what enticed you guys to want to write and strike up a romance with murderer slash pathological, self-admitted pathological liar. But that sounds like a 9-year-old when she talks. But hey, who am I to judge?
Well, they got mental
We all
issues.
have our taste, I
They all
guess.
do, but
Do you think
They
now
do.
there is a term in the DSM five? I did a video on this last year. It's called hybristophilia.
Yep.
It's the schmexual attraction to violent criminals. And do you think they fit that profile?
Oh,
Just
for
oh,
sure.
your opinion. You think so? I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I don't
well,
know what their history is
obviously,
like before Gypsy, what their dating history was like. I don't think Ryan had much of one, and I think Ken like might bat for both teams, and that's fine if he does that. I mean, even Gypsy herself wrote in an email in the FOIAs calling him an FAG. So
Yep. Yep. She sure
I'm
did.
saying,
And
yeah.
then when she gets out of prison and the rumor is out there, she pretends like she doesn't know where it started.
Well, of course she's going to do that, you know.
Ugh.
And then of
and
course
not to
Ken
mention, she
justifies
started
it.
the rumor
Ken
about him
justifies
having
it with,
the.
well, that's just how she's getting, you know, that's how she was getting over our breakup or whatever. I'm like, it doesn't address the content though. I mean, you so she could just go buck wild and tell all the lies in the world about you, and that's okay because that's how she was coping with it. It's
Yeah,
like
I know. I just don't get
that's a
it.
big cop out. I'm like, I don't buy into that.
Did you hear the latest Ash 2 Trippy? You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
She has been in contact with the quote blonde bimbo whore
Oh,
that Gypsy talks about in the blanket
I'm
video.
very triggered by her. Yeah, her and Mia are
Well,
like her biggest triggers.
apparently she told Ash 2 Trippy that they were never anything more than roommates. and he used to go around and call her his girlfriend, and she would get mad at him and tell him to stop.
Why would Gypsy even recently with the blanket video? She's like, "Go back to your blonde bimbo, whatever." You know, it's just
Because
like
she's created this romance in her head.
either it was a real romance and it's something that maybe he still has some feelings about. I mean, maybe there's validated feelings about that, or she's created the romance in her head. Again,
She's created it, yeah,
you
because
don't know what's real, or you don't know what's real with Gypsy. So again, I can't really go
yeah.
by her. But
Can
you
I
know, just
can I
again,
interject? Can
sharp
I
object.
interject?
Oh yeah. Nicole, go ahead.
Um, it's because it's been brought up before,
Right.
and I had to look it up, and I actually had the same experience with one of my best friends, who is gay. Is that I didn't know the term. It's called a beard. Okay.
I know what you're
And
talking about. I've heard that too.
yes,
A
okay.
beard, like a man's facial hair beard?
No, 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 no. It's when you are don't want to come out completely, so you put on a persona that you're not that way because you don't want to come
Cover up,
out
almost
that
like a
way.
cover up.
Right, right.
So
Yeah,
you have a
Esperanza, you're
girlfriend.
right on board. Yeah,
And
that's
it
exactly what I was
actually
thinking, like a cover
actually
story.
came out in the prison emails that Gypsy was, the beard, and I don't think Gypsy can deal with like, yeah, she's the beard. And I actually did that for one of my best friends, who didn't want to come out, and I went over to his house. I pretended, and I did that, but they didn't have terminology like that back then, right?
Right,
They would have.
right.
But I'm saying that's, I think that that's what she is to Ken, and she cannot deal with it. That's why she has the mental breakdowns, because he cannot fully commit. He does not want to marry her. He somehow, you know,
Is
knocked
that what
her
they
up.
call a lavender relationship? Is that what that means?
I
Like
haven't heard
Karma
of that.
Collector always says it's a lavender relationship,
I don't know
Haven't
that
meaning
heard that
it's.
terminology.
terminology. I haven't heard that terminology personally, but cover story is like what I would usually call it: cover up, cover story.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like that's actually what it is, and I don't know how to like deep dive into that kind of thing. But I think that's why she gets so pissed off, is because she's
But
like
I think
obsessed with him. She wants to like turn him into not that person,
right. Do you think
and he
maybe she's in
cannot be that
denial?
person.
Do you think she's maybe in denial about Ken's sexuality?
Absolutely,
But that would
absolutely.
mean she lost and she doesn't lose.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah, I
like the
think
whole
that. Do
like
you think
blanket
maybe her
video and
like
all that
obsession
stuff.
with Ken? Do you think her obsession with Ken is rooted in the fact that one, he's not a complete simpleton like Ryan and Nick, being more
Mhm.
naive when it comes to love bombers. Probably, I know she's a love bomber. I can just
And
tell.
it goes hand in hand with the girlfriend thing. Like, yeah,
Right,
like they were
right.
roommates. Like, no, they were not hooking up. They were roommates. Like,
That sounds
he
like a
was
cop out.
doing his own
That sounds like
business on the
denial.
side.
That sounds like denial to me because again, he left Gypsy, left her, while she was in prison for that person.
Yeah,
So
but he cannot fully come out and say, "Yeah, I'm this way." I mean,
so either. I
his
think there's something in this for him, and maybe it's the monetary gain from her if she has
Cashola,
right something
the
like that. I
almighty
mean,
dollar.
right, and
and you
the
know
fact
what?
that
What came
maybe
out
it's
of it is, yeah, like a baby somehow,
yeah.
you know. But he still has to like at this point, like, what are you gonna do? Who's gonna actually like step up and say,
I mean, again,
okay,
the cover maybe
she's not my.
maybe it's not monetary. Maybe it's the cover story thing. She's willing to play the cover and like just kind of like how Ryan was with Gypsy. It's like remember he's like I'll play any role in your life that you want. You can have boyfriends. I'll be a side piece, like whatever. I was like wow, simpleton. And maybe Gypsy is like that towards Ken because she can't lock him down like she did with other people, and that's why she was preggo immediately. I found out
Well,
about that even before I found out they got back together. That's how fast it was. I was like,
in my opinion, and I'm not, a psychiatrist or whatever, but I think he is a conquest. And once she wins them, she triumphs, she'll leave.
You think she's still working on the conquest? Like she's still trying to get.
Yes, because
She
she's not
wasn't
married
going
yet.
to though.
That's a fair assessment.
He's not into her in that way.
Exactly.
I
So
don't
she'll
think so.
stay as long as it continues
And I think
because she
also the
won't
fact that
lose.
Aurora. I think Aurora is also a factor in this as well.
I don't know. I have my own feelings about the child.
I mean, he's one of the things I heard though is the most is according to his sister is that he's afraid to leave Gypsy. He's actually scared. Do you think there's merit to that? I mean, she's a convicted murderer. That would scare me. I don't think she's going to
Well,
get the ring.
yeah.
Fancy. I don't think she's going to get the ring. I think
Sh-
that's one reason her sister triggers her so badly is because her sister is about to be a blushing bride who has a nice career going on for herself, and then Gypsy's a baby mama as far as she's concerned. And nothing against baby mamas, but that's how Gypsy looks at it. She's the baby mama, and her sister's about to be a wife. So
Well, her behaviors have never changed, and she's repeating all the same patterns she did
if
leading up to the crime.
if history repeats itself, the blood is going on the state of Missouri's hands. That's all I got to say about
Ugh,
it.
absolutely, absolutely.
And then if anyone says, "Where was the signs? How could this have been prevented?" Whether you know what I mean. Again, I hope none of that happens. But you know, history does repeat itself in some way. You know, they have no one to blame but themselves and the many enablers that support Gypsy to this day and continue to just pump out her narratives with no merit at all. So
It's horrible. It
again,
really
it's
is.
like, Sheena's wondering like what we're doing about this. It's like, well, what do you think we're doing? We're having the conversation and keeping the awareness going. You know what I mean? We're not
Yep.
just going to shut up and let this keep sliding with the justice system. We're going to keep making noise about it. That's how you have an impact.
She should have gotten out of prison and went and lived a private life.
I
She
don't.
acts like all this was thrown on her and that she had no say in it, and it's horrible.
He's the one that said, "I'm going to be an advocate and I'm going to do this."
Right.
But she was seeking fame and book deals and all these reality show deals from behind bars. She was eager to
Oh,
make sure she got
absolutely.
out there and was able to grab as much attention and fame and clout and money as she possibly could. It's like, and that's no different. She fully admits she never plans on working in her life ever.
I wonder if she's on disability. Does anybody know whether or not she is on disability?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she was with Dee Dee. I mean, she got a Social Security disability check from them. I wouldn't be surprised if she, whatever. I mean, you could just con one psychiatrist and then just keep reapplying until you get it, and
But if
it's all
she
good.
is, if she is, then her entire story goes down the drain because that means there's something wrong with her that she can't work.
Not necessarily. She
Okay,
could say
well,
that she got
I
it
have
from
to
she got it from
interject
psych.
again
She went
because
to. Oh
you
wait, hold
you
on, Nicole.
can't get disability if you are making money from an outside source,
That's true.
which obviously she is.
Well,
So
you're
no,
assuming
I
she
don't
reports
believe.
it all.
No, you can make a certain amount from an outside source, but you can't
But
make
she is
over a certain
claiming
amount.
a lot of money
No, I
Yeah.
know, I
from an
know.
She
outside
has to report
source.
it accurately, though.
Yeah,
But
I
I
got
mean,
you.
at this point,
Yeah.
like, if she calls up, you know, if you and I or anyone else were supposed to say, like, my name's Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and um,
Ugh.
I'm on disability, and
You could
I
just
need
talk to
to
a psychiatrist and
reapply for
say like
my
he's a survivor
Well,
of
she doesn't
benefits.
need to
abuse
go to a
and
psychiatrist, Dustin. She has legitimate things of why she was on disability
But
in the first
she's
the
place.
not going to
The
microdeletion.
qualify if she's
microdeletion, all
making
the
all
different
this
things
money
she has.
outside the
She
source.
wasn't gaming the
She,
system when she was getting
I
her
don't think she
social
wasn't.
security.
I don't think she was
She
either.
No, she had
she deserved
problems.
it. She was supposed to have it. So
Many
the only
problems.
reason that
now
she
she's
wouldn't be
not
able to have
claiming
it
it.
now
That's what
would
I'm
be
saying.
money. Yeah.
She's not
Right.
claiming her disability. She's her own new woman now, living her best life.
I
She
know.
doesn't need disability. There's no way that the state or anyone is going to be funding her. That's why she's grifting
Well,
again.
I mean, if she wasn't grifting, though, she would qualify. That's what I'm telling you.
Right.
She
That's what I was
would
I agree
saying.
with
qualify.
that. No, I absolutely agree with that. I think she could
Yeah.
physically get the disability based off of
Right.
But it
the
wouldn't be enough
microdeletion.
money for her. I mean, she'd only get, I mean, my husband gets $1,600 a month. Like, so that's not
Yeah,
enough
it's
for
not
her
that.
and
It's
her
not. Yeah,
baby and all that.
yeah.
So
No,
she's got
as
a
a
grift.
felon, you can get disability. I know people. I know.
She can.
But
I
yeah,
looked up the eligibility.
absolutely.
She
Because
can.
I
Yeah.
know people in my old neighborhood in the Bronx that are convicted felons that have disability checks. So
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Do you think she's on it currently,
No.
or do you? Okay.
No, she makes too much money.
Yeah, there'd be no way.
If this battling doesn't go well for her though, yeah, she definitely would be on it
Oh, I
because
forgot about the
what else does
TikTok
she
battling.
have? She
Guess how many
has
I
no
participated in?
she has
0.
nothing else. She doesn't have a TV show. Her podcast is bullshit, and that's going to be dependent on whether or not anyone actually listens to it or not, right?
Not
So,
seriously, anyway.
so it's just it's. I don't think she's on it yet, but I don't think she's far from it.
That'll be her go-to though. As soon as everything dries up
Absolutely.
in the grifting well, it's like she's gonna go right to the government.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You already said
Fancy, is that public records?
you already
We
said
were
you
talking
never
about
plans on working.
Ken and her, and I'm going to tell you that I was there when they first broke up. In fact, they blamed me for the breakup in the first place. Like, it's so stupid.
Naughty
Because I
Fancy,
did an
bad
article on
Fancy.
them. But the original story that was relayed to me from Christy's best friend, who's no longer here, according to them, I don't know, but anyway, according to them, Don Brown, not Don Boker, Don Brown told me that he was gay, and that's why they broke up. And she found out that he cheated on her with a man and all of this. And they willingly told me that back then. And I do think that's the story. I think it's interesting that Ashley Trippies talked to the girlfriend and she said they were roommates because there was nothing that was connected between them that made me think that they were together,
Why is Gypsy so triggered about the blonde bimbo though? Like I don't get it. Like,
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I think she is delusional, and I think she did make it up in her head. Like
I think so too. Yeah.
She creates scenarios and situations and relationships that don't exist.
Like so you think she has an active imagination?
Oh yeah.
I think she's psychotic, and I think she has hallucinations.
I was the first time I was engaged. I was
Those would be considered delusions.
really quick.
Delusions. I'm sorry, not hallucinations. Delusions. Yes, I'm sorry.
I know what you meant.
I do. She's delusional.
Really quick. I just want to say, when I was 27, I got engaged for the first time, and I didn't do the proposing, by the way. This is another woman that was like a love bomber, like really wanted to lock me down really quick.
Oh,
lock you down.
Love those.
She did this like every guy supposedly, according to one of the exes I talked to. But anyways, he same thing, had an active imagination of things that weren't going on, and she was very paranoid, I'm talking like clinically paranoid. And she was on a battery of medication, which you're on medicine, that's fine, I guess. But it wasn't helping her, whatever it was. So I mean,
you've talked about her before, haven't you?
maybe I've mentioned her, but this was
Yeah.
This was my 20s. Yeah, she was something else.
Yep, I remember.
This is like before my marriage and all that stuff. Yeah, this is like a long time ago.
Yep.
2011, 2012, somewhere around there. I was living on the east side, like East Village in Manhattan. Both of us were. So that's how we sort of linked up. And it was weird. Yeah, but, I think maybe Gypsy's that same kind of person that just has an active imagination and, just goes buck wild. But the weird thing is just her feeling the need to, taping herself doing something like that is just very bizarre. Bizarre choice.
It's you know what, and I think about that video, and you have to think of the psyche behind the video. Okay, it's one thing if, let's say, he walks in and she's doing that, and he like videos are like, oh my god, she's fucking crazy, right? But she had to set up a tripod, put on a camera. Then she had to, turn on the camera. Then she was very calm when she turns on the camera, and she's like, da 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 da, and then she backs up, and all of a sudden she just explodes, and you're just like, whoa,
Parker's right there. Parker's like 2 feet behind her.
Right.
He's looking at her funny.
It's more disturbing that she set it up than anything else,
That's
like.
why I'm wondering, like, is this just an act? Is this just something? I mean, like, I don't know what's going on with her. Like, half the time, it's just a bizarre choice to set up the phone like perfectly in that way, and then just have this like meltdown with the scissors and the blanket. And I'm still waiting on the headboard video. So there's that. I mean, Ryan.
Safe.
When you take whatever, I'm not sure how much stock you put into Ryan, but he says that's 100% true. So I don't know. It's well, it remains to be seen. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that exists.
Well, I
Okay,
believe
well,
him
let's
because
like.
he's.
I
Go
always
go
bring
ahead.
this up, and no one ever wants to bring it up. Let's do a deep psyche into those two crazy MFers that actually sought her out.
No,
Okay,
absolutely,
that's what
absolutely.
I'm
Well,
saying. Like,
people have. I mean,
I
Back
I've
in
really focus,
back in the day,
but
I
these
talked
two
to this. The,
crazy MFers
oh, I
sought
know.
her out. I mean, I
Right.
have so much shit to do in my life. I would never, even though Ryan says it was a dare,
Oh, he's full of
blah blah
shit.
I
blah.
don't
Oh,
buy that.
bullshit,
What
I
bullshit.
was
don't buy it.
Ken's
It's
Bullshit.
one
excuse?
second.
Like, why would
Well, right.
they actually
Cop out.
seek her out?
That's a
And
cop
what
out.
the heck is wrong with them
With them,
and the
exactly. We
people that
talked about
surround themselves with her?
absolutely.
Who
We
wants
talked
to
about this
surround
back in the
themselves
day,
by
and
her? There's got to be
oh,
something wrong with them.
you don't hear me.
And they're all making money off of this horrible thing that happened. And nobody
So
ever, I mean, yeah, they make like jokes about them, you know,
Yeah.
but there's something wrong with all of them.
well,
All
back
of
in the
them.
day, we discussed this, and I actually talked to. I don't remember if she's a prosecuting attorney or a defense attorney. She was one of the people following the case, and that was one of the things that she pointed out was, look, you don't go looking for a prison relationship
Right.
unless you already have a relationship with this person before they go in. If you're a normal person, that's not something normal people do. You don't seek out schmurderers, you
Now,
know.
I did
They
mention this
have to be
before.
broken
Anthony,
inside.
are you familiar with the term hybristophilia? It's in the DSM-5. Maybe
Yep. I've
that.
done several. I've done several videos on that. Yep. Yep.
Myself as well. And I put the terminology right up there, the factors and all the key factors that go with it. I always implore
Yep.
everybody to watch that video and go to,
Mhm.
you can go look at the DSM-5 website yourself on,
Yeah.
Psychology Today
Yep.
or wherever you want to look at it and read about hybristophilia. It's very cohesive. There's a really
Yeah.
good cohesive argument on like why
Mhm.
somebody like Ryan Anderson or Ken Euchre would go for somebody like Gypsy or someone. I mean, look at all the women that dropped for Wade Wilson.
Right.
That's
Right.
Oh
crazy.
my
Chris
God.
Watts. I mean,
This
Chris
man
Watts,
is a
Bundy.
And
schmostica
Ted
of his
Bundy.
neck. It's
Bundy,
Because
crazy.
Chris Watts,
everyone was
all of
like
them.
obsessed.
Yeah.
And Charles
Yeah.
Manson, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Ted Bundy.
like,
That's another one. Ted Bundy. You know how many women flocked to his trial?
oh
Yeah.
my God,
A
so
lot.
many.
A lot.
It's
And
bizarre.
same with the Night
It's so
Stalker.
bizarre.
The Night
Yes.
Stalker as well.
Oh
Yay.
my God, yes, another one.
Because he looked like
That's
Jim
what I'm
Morrison. He had
saying.
like
Like,
the Jim Morrison look going on or
something
whatever.
is
He's
not right
tall
with
with the
them.
sunglasses. They give him those like shades to sit back with. I'm like, what? Again, it's just like
Oh, one of my favorite quotes. If anyone ever watched Supernatural,
Oh
if you know
yeah.
that show,
Yep.
one of my favorite quotes is, "There's only two people that wear sunglasses inside. It's blind people and douchebags."
wait, what was the first one?
Blind
And when
people.
he
Blind
showed up
people.
with sunglasses, I'm
Blind
like,
people. Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
no, have you ever watched Supernatural?
Yeah. Wait. What's the two type? What's the first type of person you said? I couldn't hear it.
He said blind people and
Blind people.
douchebags.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
Blind people.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like,
Sounds accurate. I agree with that sentiment.
but I'm saying, like, there's something wrong with these men and the
Yes.
people, like,
And women,
and
like I said,
it's just like
Wade
everyone
Wilson and
around
all the
them.
Night Stalker and Ted Bundy, women were flocking to that. So I think I don't think it's a gender
I
thing. I
think
think
I do think
people
it's
in general.
different, Justin, for men and women. Like
I
the
agree.
motivation for women, I think it's a thrill thing. Like
I think so
and
too.
and it's a stable thing because he's never getting out. So you have
Right.
the
It's not like you can go out
stability
cheating
of this
somewhere.
man. He's not going anywhere, right?
No,
So
he's not.
so that's a difference in the women. But
That's a
for
good point.
men,
That's a good point. I'm gonna take note of that.
yeah,
Mental note of that. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. They're not gonna go out into the club and go cheating.
right. They're not
I mean,
gonna
the
go
worst
cheat
thing
on
you
you.
can do is write to
They're
unless you're going to write to
right.
another woman. I mean, someone,
Right.
Nina in here says Chris Watts. I'm like, yeah, there's women that
Yeah, Chris
legitimately
Watts.
write to him.
Yeah. But for men, I think it's a self-esteem issue and the fact that let's be honest.
Look at
Ryan is
Ryan
not
Anderson.
pulling in any
Ryan
type of
Anderson.
major freaking
Nicholas
punani
Godejohn.
in his life,
Boom.
right? Okay, he's
Right.
not.
Right.
He's
Right.
basically an incel. He would have never had
He is a, yeah.
anything if he hadn't had
Incel.
Gypsy, right?
Okay,
Absolutely.
I gotta interject, and I know it's not very nice, but in my mind, it's also another movie quote. I call him not so Slim Shady because that's who he is.
It's
I
not very
can't stand
funny.
Ryan
I
Anderson
mean, that's
anymore.
pretty accurate.
That's funny. That's pretty funny. Again, I used to
I
defend
can't
Ryan.
tell you which one I
You
don't
know
like
what
more.
movie I'm
Like,
talking
When I saw
about.
the
You know,
prison
it's
emails with Ryan, though, I'm like, oh
Channing
god,
Tatum.
what a simp.
It's from
He's
the
a
movie.
simp. Like after reading those prison emails, he's such a simp. It's so sad.
yes,
And I don't buy
it's
the
really
Garrett
sad.
thing. I don't buy
And
the
he
Garrett
denies
thing.
all that.
That's a
He
cop
says
out.
that
No,
he's
he's not so Slim Shady in my mind. Every
no.
time I see him,
Pretty
that's what I
funny.
say. Like,
That's pretty
okay,
funny.
here we go, not so Slim Shady.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I used to try to, feel sorry. I felt a little bit bad for him. I thought maybe he got do again, like Gypsy is she's very charismatic. She's probably like a love bomber, gives men like Ryan Anderson and Nicholas Godejohn with, that are very vulnerable to the female race, and like emotions altogether. They probably haven't navigated their emotions properly, like a lot of us
Yeah,
more experienced people have. So it's just like,
yeah,
they're easily duped, they're easily sucked in. But then again, especially, I want to say Nick, but more so Ken and Ryan, they sought her out first. They sought her. So that
That's my point.
and no, after knowing what she's already done, the land where she was. So like they're a whole different category from Nicholas Godejohn, who found her on a Christian way
very.
dating website. So
And
again,
Yes,
she
it's the
was looking
circumstances.
for him.
It's the circumstances surrounding the romance, that really gets to me, and it
yeah.
really speaks the volumes about people like Ryan Anderson and Ken, who I think have hybristophilia and factored into why they got in contact with Gypsy in the first place.
Is it
Yes.
okay if you break down those symptoms for us? Because I think that would make a lot more sense if you could actually do that. Because a lot of people probably don't,
Oh man,
you
I would
know.
love. Yeah, that I should do I don't know how to pull it up on here in the middle of the live or go off here,
I don't
but
think you can.
I don't think I can either.
Well, I mean,
I would
Fancy
love. I could.
seems to
We could.
know
I
everything.
could put
So
in another live. I could
if Fancy
put it
could,
as a background, and then I can go over or I can get a separate device and do it that way. I don't have my other one with me right now, the iPad, but I'll go and get something else, and I will do specifically a live on hyperstophilia. I think that's a really good idea.
well,
Hey,
yeah, definitely.
I have a question for Fancy because I really I respect you very much. Why do you think that the relationship, the interactions between Gypsy and Aurora look so odd?
Because in my opinion, I like I've said, I believe that Gypsy is either a sociopath or a psychopath. And then on top of that, I do think that she has cluster B personality disorders. These things make it so that she doesn't have normal feelings and emotions and not genuine interactions with anyone. And the baby is going to pick up on that before anyone else. Because they're just a sponge,
Yes,
and they know when something's not right. Like they can feel it. And
just
I
like
think
dogs. Just like dogs do.
right, the dog too. And so children and dogs are very perceptive
They are
to
very.
when something is just not right about a person, right? And so I think that's what's happening, and she's trying to force it, which then makes it even more recoiling, because you can just see that she doesn't want to touch her mom. She doesn't. It's
There's a
very
there's a
different.
disconnect. There's a
There's no
There
disconnect.
need
is.
for
It's
no
a huge
attachment.
disconnect. But she doesn't have that connection with anyone. Like that's the thing. Gypsy doesn't have that ability. There isn't that there. So the baby sees that and shies away from it because they're intuitive. That's
Do
what
you
I
think
think.
she's alone with her every day? When Ken goes to
God,
work, do
I
you
hope
believe that?
not.
No.
But you don't know.
No, I don't
I
know.
think
I
I
don't
think
know.
Gypsy's one of those moms that will do anything to escape having to take care of Aurora.
I think that Kel Rocky is the nanny. I do.
Yeah,
So,
she's probably
and I
that's another thing.
yeah,
That's probably another disconnect. She doesn't spend enough quality
the
time with her
time
baby.
with her.
Right. Right.
And she talked about the fact, like, okay, so she talked about this early on when the baby was an infant. She said she didn't talk to her. Everyone else talked to the baby, but she didn't talk to her, because she felt like there was nothing to say to a baby. Like, so she didn't talk. She didn't have that
Hear the
bond of
mother's voice.
talking to her on a daily basis. Dude, I talked to my children when they were in the womb,
Yeah.
like, and when they
Babies
came
can hear
out,
the
like,
Yeah.
I
mother's
talked to
voice
them
at
about
I put
everything.
music
I
up
believe
to
it's
my
4 to 6 months.
children's stomach. Like I used
Right.
to
Right.
take a
No,
boombox
she's,
and put classical music up um
Yeah.
to my
yeah.
belly,
I have no
And
and
she's
children,
like,
but
well,
I'm
I
a
don't do that. I
guitarist.
because
don't tell
he,
her everything. And I'm
I
like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I would show my kids everything and be like, even though they couldn't understand, I'm just like, and this is a scrunchie and da 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 da. And it goes in mommy's hair and blah, 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 and I'm
oh,
like,
oh
that,
mm,
like the whole thing, you tell them about everything. And that's how they learn things and that's how they learn words. But if
right.
you're not saying words to the child, then the child isn't going to learn words,
What's your
you
opinion on
know?
Ken?
I'll give
Do you
you a
think he's an
for
appropriate?
instance.
Do you think Ken is an appropriate father for Aurora?
No.
You don't think so? I mean, I can't. I
No.
haven't
I
seen
think
enough
he's the
interaction.
lesser of two evils. Like to be honest,
Well,
he's the left.
obviously, he doesn't have Schmurder on his record, but
Yeah, he doesn't have Schmurder in his background, but I mean, do I think that either of these people are capable of raising a productive child? No, no.
fair enough.
Sorry, I don't.
Fair enough.
She's behind the eight ball. If you believe there's a child and all that, because there's I'm
There's
on
the
the
baby.
fence.
I don't agree
There's a
with that.
baby. I just don't
There's
know where
yeah.
the baby came from.
And again,
You know,
they wouldn't have done the DNA test on Ryan and all the stuff they went to court for to prove that Aurora was indeed Ken's. There's
right,
actual
right,
paperwork on that. So that's just
yeah.
if people have a difference of opinion, that's fine. But I believe Aurora's real. So just
I believe she's a real child. I'm not quite sure it came out of Gypsy. That's my thing.
I mean, I'm
That's
willing to
my
see
thing.
evidence of that. I'm willing to see the evidence of the contrary.
Right,
But I mean, from everything
right.
that I've seen following it, pretty up close,
Yeah.
I think there's a
What would
baby.
be the
But
point of
I know
that?
I know there's some people that don't think there is.
I'm sorry, I just popped up and hi, I'm Judy. I watched your live. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank
I just
you.
want to say, I just wanted to ask a question. What would be the point of going to that? I mean, I know it's gypsy and I know, but honestly, what would be the point to go to that extreme to take a child? Again, I know it's gypsy, but I don't,
I agree with you on that. However, I can say this. It was a Lifetime story. They talked about the fact that
Mm-hmm.
Lifetime wanted this story. They wanted a baby story.
right.
And
Yep.
originally, Gypsy didn't want the baby story, according to her. And so when Lifetime dumped them for the third season, because they were supposed to have that third season,
They were. That's right.
until Gypsy screwed them over and they found out that she'd been talking to TMZ and telling them everything, and she was breaking the freaking contract all the time
Yep.
and leaking crap out. And so if that happened and there was a Lifetime baby story and they procured a baby for adoption or through a brother or whatever crazy idea you want to come up with, I can understand that, because then they're stuck with it. Like, what do we do with the story? I've already filmed myself being pregnant. I've already done all. So what do we do? That's the only thing that I can say would make sense as to why they would do this. And
Right.
other than it's Gypsy and she just lies about everything and wants
Right.
attention. So I don't know.
That's got a lot to do with it. I agree with your sentiment. No, absolutely. And I remember the third season. I was like, "There's no way Gypsy would drop a ball in the third season unless she did unless she broke like a non-disclosure agreement, like
She
an
did.
NDA." Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what she
She
did.
That's why Ken was so tight-lipped, because he was trying to follow it, and
Yeah.
she was just dropping the ball everywhere she went. So it was like,
She's a mess. She's just a mess. You
I
can't.
mean, no matter who you're
Well,
involved with,
then
like when it comes to
where
her,
does Ryan come into it? Because he had
the
his
DNA
son there
test. Because
too.
in the state of Missouri, if you're in wedlock still, which she was with Ryan, the baby is got his last name first, so he had to go to
But
court
I'm
to
saying, like,
prove it wasn't his.
he had to sign an NDA as well, right?
Yes.
Right, but this
Well,
was
he's
actually part of the narrative. I remember at the very end of the last season. The very end of the last season of Life After Lockup was Ryan taking the DNA test for the baby, and then season 3 was supposed to lead in
No, but
for
I'm
the
saying,
baby.
how
and the
long does
pregnancy.
the NDA last?
It
Because
depends
obviously,
on
It's
like, if
depends on the
different.
there's
It's
contract.
one,
different.
Ryan had to
Depends on the
send one
contract.
too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it could be a year. It could be until you stop shooting. Third season it could be after the
Wait,
release of the third season. That you're supposed to,
It
I
could be
heard
up to
the
5 years afterwards. That's a very
right,
standard
but the
one.
1,000 Pound Sisters also have the same thing
mhm.
going on. The
Yeah.
Slayton sisters,
But
they had
that's what I'm
closer
saying.
agreements
So,
with
I
Chris
mean,
and
who's to
Amanda and stuff
say?
like that.
Like,
A
do
lot
you
of
have a
reality
lifetime
shows they require
NDA or?
non-disclosure.
But
Yeah.
I feel like he just like drops these Easter eggs all the time, and
He
then he'll
does.
just like come up to
Yes.
like get more money because I mean the dude lost his job, and so now he's making all this money
No,
off
Well, he's
these
fallen into this Team Ryan thing. I'm like, yeah, but
Oh
what is
God.
Team
how
Ryan?
did you do
Team
that?
Ryan. Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
you and
yeah.
Pixie and the New Orleans Saints and that stupid laugh, and that's it. It's like, what are you selling and why? It's like,
And
You
give
no,
me a
can
story.
always
he's
tell when
so
he's offended because
disrespectful
that
and
laugh.
rude. I
You can
cannot
always
stand
Like
him.
he's a little bit of a narcissist now. He really fancies
Oh, he's
himself
so
like a.
Which
awful.
I
He
mean,
really
oh
thinks
he
he's
does
like
that's
that.
the
a
whole
like a.
Completely a
point. It's like
narcissist.
He really thinks he's
he's
like a
so
handsome, like like he thinks he's like GQ magazine or something. I'm like, bro,
Oh my
like,
I
God.
know.
I'm
not
like,
I
I don't
so
know
know.
who
Slim
told you that.
Shady is so full of
I don't know who
himself.
told
It
you that,
scares me that
Ryan,
he was
but
a teacher. It scares me that he was a
just like
teacher because
he just joined
yeah.
Gypsy on the grift train. Essentially, he's essentially fully admitted that he doesn't plan on ever going back to work, and he's just going to talk to TikTok pick me girls for the next, I guess, 30 years. I don't know what he plans on doing
Oh my
beyond that.
god, how old is he?
Can't stand him anymore. He's
No,
misogynistic.
he's the
He's
Yeah, very
same.
much.
racist. He's everything
He fully
bad.
deserves what he fully deserves anything he gets, and I have no, I don't have any sympathy left for him. He's overstayed his welcome in my book.
Find his
That's why I'm
content on
saying, like,
TikTok
bring up
so many
him and
times.
Ryan and do that. Do your thing. I mean, talk about these two men because they are just as disturbed as she is, but on a
The
different
last time I
level.
heard him drop tea about Gypsy, it was when she, during a prison visit before their wedding, she passed gas or something stupid. I'm just like, really? That's the tea,
He
Ryan?
never says anything of substance.
No,
Never.
never
Because he
has.
doesn't have
I've been
anything.
waiting.
That's why
I've
I'm
been waiting.
saying, like,
But
something needs to be spoken about these two quote unquote men that are fighting over her. There's
I
something
don't think
wrong with
Ryan is
them.
laying back. No, I
Can we
agree. But
not like
Ryan,
focus on Gypsy and focus on maybe something else? Like these two
right.
psychopaths, they're also psycho in a different
But
way.
you know what? I don't think they're fighting over it anymore. I think Ryan is forever, and he's admitted this in so many words. He's going to sit back and wait for Gypsy and Ken to finally have their fallout, and then so she becomes single, and he's got this delusion that she's going to come running back to him. So you know what I mean?
Well,
He's forever stuck in
last
that mode.
week,
That is
last week he did
toxic.
make a comment. He said, "I think I dodged a bullet." But whether he meant
He just
that or
figured that
not,
out now. He just figured that out
Uh-uh.
now.
yes, yes, last week
Kind of a delay
after
of
the
events, in my opinion, but
after the
you might
blanket
say.
video came out, he said somebody said something, and his answer was, "Yeah, I think I dodged a bullet."
You think, Ryan? What have everyone been trying to tell you all the time? What have we been
Right.
trying to tell you this whole time, Ryan? It's like, come on, you can't be that dense. You have
Oh,
to.
but he
He
is.
spent, he spent actual like time face to face with her. He should know better than anybody that there's not one bullet. He dodged many bullets.
Make a comment like
He dodged the whole cannon. He dodged the
Yes,
whole
he did.
military of cannons. So that's just putting it lightly. Who knows, like what kind of collateral damage he would have been had he stayed with her.
Oh my God.
If not the source of the damage. Again, you never know who she's going to go after.
Oh, you know.
I will always believe she's always going to remain a direct threat to not just those around her, but to society at large. If you piss that woman off enough,
yeah.
I don't want to know what she's capable of on her own. Let
She's a
alone
loose
puts other people out there.
cannon.
Yep.
That's why I
Have
Absolutely.
you
worry so
not
much
seen
for her
like have you
baby.
not seen everything everything she touches turns to shit.
Yes, it
Everyone
does.
Yeah,
behind her turns to
absolutely,
shit. But she
absolutely.
never turns to shit. But everyone behind her
Yeah, and
turns
they
to
rally
shit.
behind her and try to shield her from consequence. Again, whenever she says she's taking a break from social media, that's when all of her cohorts come out. You know what I mean? Bree is going on lives. Ken's going on live. Again, it's just her hiding behind other people. She's on social media by proxy.
I'm tired of that. I am so tired of that. She needs to come forward and
I've
take
offered.
accountability and
I
answer the tough questions.
I've offered Gypsy to come on my panel by herself. I was not going to have anyone else on the
Yeah.
panel, and I will ask her very respect. I respected her man when he was on panel with me. Me and
Yep.
Ken have a very, chill conversation. No one yelled at each other. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm a man. I've seen him mistreat many women on lives, so maybe it's just because I'm a man, and he knows he's not going to get one over on me. But you know what I mean. At the same time, it's just like I've offered Gypsy, without the assistance of someone else, without knowing the questions in advance. I'm just going to talk to her respectfully, one on one. You know what I mean? She doesn't have to put herself on camera if she doesn't want to. And, it's just, come and, answer a few questions without, having to read a
There's
teleprompter
absolutely no
and without having to
way.
have her
There's no way.
so-called friends come out and, shield her from, answering any tough questions. So,
There's no way. Like anytime she goes on a podcast or anything, it's all softball questions,
yeah.
and I guarantee you, they've been over and she's done, the thought process, and as long as people think she's like a stupid dummy, which she's not.
Yeah.
Somehow she's completely very articulate.
She got
For
the
someone that was
psychopath.
homeschooled, by the
Got
way,
the intelligence of
with
a
no,
psychopath. Like psychopaths
with
are very
with
intelligent people.
that's what I'm saying, and she's uh, barely got her GED. How is she
Well, I mean,
so articulate?
again, like
You
if
know?
you go back to her interrogation with the police, and she's trying to play it off like she doesn't know anything about like her mother's unaliving, and she's trying to be like, wait. It's like you could see how hard she was trying to go at the manipulation tactics, trying to change the subject, talking about food and Magic Kingdom and all this other, like, trying to distance herself very meticulously as much as she can. So it's like I saw danger with her, regarding that. And also, like, I don't understand if this abuse narrative was true. She said nothing to the investigators. She said nothing to Christy. She said nothing to Rod. She said nothing to anyone until Mike Stanfield came in her life. And his job is to keep her out of prison or get her the best prison, or get her the best, deal with the courts, best plea deal, which was his job. So again, it's just like, he's like, well, we got to conjure up this abuse narrative. That's the only thing you have. Otherwise, if we go to trial, you're going away for life. If this abuse stuff was true, why would he worry about her going away for life? It's because they had evidence to the contrary. They had evidence that this was all a bunch of BS. So they, again, got very lucky that, we had a very corrupt judge that didn't put a gag order on anything. So they let them steamroll the media with this false narratives. And then on top of that, you have a DA that was running for the re-election and didn't want to look like he was going after a victim. So, she got this like little plea deal of the century.
It's my
Well,
understanding that Munchausen
also,
by
like,
proxy involves the mother actually making the child
Right.
sick.
And I've never heard a story of,
I
her
have to
shoving.
No.
interject
Wait.
because
I think the worst. I think she said Oragel on the gums or something. I mean,
But
you
how
have to
did that
apply
make her
every
sick?
30 seconds. You have to
How
apply
did it
that
make her
every 30
sick?
seconds.
I have to interject on that point because I mean, don't don't ask me to like spew facts or anything. But Nick was also offered a plea deal and he
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
declined it.
was.
Wasn't
That's
he?
true. Yep.
Was he
And
offered the same as
but
Gypsy?
but he but
No,
he
25
was
years, I
but
think.
Yeah, I
he's
thought it was way longer than Gypsy's.
It
Which is
is. It
again,
was.
it's a
but
bunch of crap.
also he also is on a different spectrum than
Right.
Gypsy.
And I think that was
And so
that should have been a
people like
mitigating. That should have been
people
mitigation. He had more mitigating
say
factors than
like
Gypsy did.
that's
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
I
that's
finish my statement please?
Yeah.
Um I feel like he was offered a plea deal as well.
Right.
He declined it because he didn't have the same capacity as Gypsy. Okay.
That's another thing that
Gypsy
I
played
thought should
dumb
have been
the entire
considered for
time.
Nicholas is his level 2 autism. It's like why that didn't play into mitigation even after going to trial is so mind blowing to me. I've seen.
Yes.
I know, and see that's
I
why
mean,
I'm
if they gave mitigation to Mackenzie Sharilla, why wouldn't they
Ugh.
give it to Nicholas Godejohn? That's crazy.
Agreed.
I don't get
Agreed.
it. I don't get it, but you know what I mean. The justice system likes to cherry pick, who gets what, and I guess I don't know. Maybe I see a theme with some of the female, like the younger female defendants get this like this mitigation. It's like, what about Nicholas? He had more mitigation than Mackenzie or any of these people that get these like really awkward, weird sentences. I mean, there's some that they do throw the book at. Corey Richens, rightfully so, had the book thrown right at her. So, but there were so many signs of danger with her. It's like it was endless. I mean, if anyone paid attention to that trial, like, dude, she had life insurance policies on her young kids that were toddlers. That's crazy. I mean, why do you need why do you need a several $100,000 life insurance policy on your 5-year-old? I don't get it. Unless you had plans for something. Again, and she had an affinity for poisoning. So, just saying.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm
horrible
just
stuff.
saying, like, what got me started in this case, and I know you and I have talked about this before, is because I have an autistic son. Okay, so I take this very, very personally
Right.
because I know how easy it is to manipulate someone
Yeah,
with autism.
I agree. Yeah,
She did it so
And
good.
there wasn't even a discussion about
I,
his
if
autism.
you know what I'm saying, if I can like finish, if my son did that, I would hold him accountable. But you know what? He had the family behind him. You know, like he had the support. I don't think Nick had that support. So he went off the rails. Gypsy is just cuckoo bananas. You
Well,
know,
her
it
family
was
saw
just a
this coming around
freight
the
train
her family saw a bunch
coming
of
to
this coming
happen.
around the corner as
You know,
well.
so to me, I take it very personally.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not defending Nick by
Right.
any
I
means,
understand what you're saying.
but I that's why I just despise her so much because she can just manipulate not just Nick, but everyone around her. It's disgusting to me.
I agree
Yeah,
completely with
I
that
And you know,
sentiment.
and not people that are on the spectrum. These are supposed to be high functioning adults and they fall for this bullshit. And they still defend her.
yeah.
That
Again,
makes me
I
even
mean,
sicker.
Even Sheena herself said it doesn't matter what she's never going to read the FOIA. She's never going to watch the videos. Like, there's some people that'll just ride or die for her, and they don't care what information they see. It's like if you want to live that way, that's fine. Ignorance is bliss, fine. But it's like I can't. I started out supporting Gypsy's release. I started out supporting her.
I did too.
I did too.
Come to light that was just
I
like,
never
okay,
did.
And then we
I
found
need to
out.
reassess, I need to reevaluate, my views on stuff. I've done this in many different arenas of like, it's called critical thinking. You know what I mean? You don't just blindly support something because you want to, or you
No.
desire a certain narrative. It's like you take in the information. If you have to reassess your thoughts about that or your views on it, you do so. That's called being open-minded, and it's called being, a critical
I had a
thinker.
gut
I
feeling
think so.
about her right from the beginning.
Yeah, it's very cult-like behavior. I agree with that, Sheriff. Yep, it's very cult-like because again, it's like I don't think Gypsy can. She can go out and commit a mass something, and they would rally right behind her and be like, "Oh, it wasn't her fault. It was Jabba the Hutt's fault. It's a bad Star Wars trilogy, so it's their fault.
And
Whatever."
there's Steve McPhee getting like 2 years.
Yeah, it's everyone's fault but hers. You know what I mean? That's just another cop out for anything account again, she's been shielded from accountability even with Dee Dee. Dee Dee never again, like a prime example of this is when Gypsy unloaded what she thought was a real pew pew at Dee Dee. What does Dee Dee do? What's her first reaction? Jump in front of the train for her and go to the hospital saying some Walmart boogeyman did this to her and not tell them what really happened. Again, shielded from consequences. And again, people like, again, Mackenzie Shirella. Look at her enabling parents, just as bad.
Exactly.
It's an
Yep.
entitled generation that we're dealing with right now. A very super hyper entitled generation. And again, it reflects the parents, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And again, I think, Dee Dee did help contribute to that, but I don't blame Dee Dee altogether. I think Gypsy sort of became her own monster over time. I think Gypsy became overwhelming for Dee Dee. I think at some point it's just like if Gypsy didn't get her way, it's like she was dealing with a fire.
See, that's also like another topic conversation is, nature versus nurture. You
Absolutely.
know, with
No,
a lot of
great.
these,
Where do you draw the line?
murderers,
Where do you draw the line on those?
like where do you draw the line? A lot of people say like, you're born that way, but Yeah, I
Absolutely,
don't
but
know, but also, there's a lot of things that can contribute to, becoming that. And then also another thing I've also said, which is never been brought up. Sorry, I'm getting a cold. Um, with the microcephaly, do you think that has something to do with also her micro delusion? Do
Absolutely.
you think that like because her brain is like normal size, but her cranium is not the
yeah,
normal
that would have
size?
a lot to do with it. Again, like
I mean, could that like
micro deletion
compress certain
is so
spots in
rare.
that?
He is like I believe she's one of 300 people. I believe that have her the 1Q21.1 micro deletion, which would explain why there was a lot of trial and error and probably like misdiagnosis, missing diagnosis from doctors because it was so hard, especially back then, to pinpoint something so rare. So it's like when people see a discrepancy with some of the medical, like some of the medical records, I'm like, you have to take into account like how difficult it was to pinpoint something that was so rare back then, and it wasn't even discovered correct until about like the end of the 2000s, like '07, '08. So she didn't have this. She'd already been like they're not quite.
Yeah,
Well,
before it was even discovered, she says that Dee Dee was using it as a blueprint. It's like, really? It wasn't even invented yet.
Trying to take the best.
no, I mean, not to like. I'm gonna interject again because I'm aging myself and my son. But back in the day, my son's 26 now, and I didn't know what autism was. Okay,
It wasn't
and
a big deal
so
back then.
it wasn't like the
Mm-mm.
only thing we knew about autism was the movie Rain Man, right?
Right, right.
And everything, like he has two older brothers, right? And something was not right. Something was not right with them. Okay, and I knew it, so I kept taking him to the doctor. He was sick all the time. He just stopped after 1 years old. He was starting to speak. He stopped. He didn't do anything. He was focusing only on himself. He couldn't focus. So I thought, oh my God, what's wrong with him? Is he deaf? Is he blind? What the hell? I was taking him to so many doctor's appointments, and they thought I was crazy. They probably thought I was Munchausen because I was doing this. And I've said this before on many different lives. There was one nurse that said, um, we should just get you your own parking space. And I was like,
That's
no,
kind of
I'm trying to figure
rude.
it out. And then finally, one doctor told me he might be autistic. And I was like, excuse me?
What's
What is
that?
that? And then I had to do my own research.
Naturally.
How many years ago was that? And now everyone knows about autism.
Yeah.
But back then, nobody knew. But I
No,
was
and
the
you have to
crazy
fight for
mom
your
back then.
kids.
Not only
You have
that,
to fight for your kids.
but
And
again,
that's what I did.
it's so
But
Yep.
ridiculous. Imagine
that's
how
what I'm saying. Like, I think that Dee Dee, I don't think she's a saint,
yeah,
but she was trying to figure out what's going on with her kid.
She was fighting for her kid.
really quick.
The
Imagine
same way I was fighting for my kid.
Exactly.
really quick. How imagine with your story with having to pinpoint the autism. Imagine how hard it was for Dee Dee to pinpoint the symptoms and the many like long range of symptoms going on with gypsies.
That's
Eating.
what I'm saying. That's exactly, that's the parallel,
The whole
you
Yep,
know?
exactly.
autism with
That's
how
what I'm saying. Like that,
autism.
that nurse that we should get your own parking spot. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Like I'm trying to
Right.
figure out what's going on with my kid.
But again,
That
it's
was
like
Something's not
rude.
right.
again.
And
But
I think she had a lot of scams going on, but at the same time, I mean, I wasn't scamming anybody. I was trying to figure out what's going on with my son. But it,
legitimate.
there's a parallel there, like she was trying to in her best way, take care of that person.
Right.
The demon. It's
Horror
okay.
person.
The demon.
Yeah.
The
No, I
demon.
understand. Can you guys hear me a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay. No, just really quick. I wanted to say, imagine how hard it was. That story you're telling us is about how hard it was to pinpoint autism back in the day. Imagine how hard it was to pinpoint her very rare microdeletion. I mean, 300 people in the world have it. That's one of the rarest things I've ever heard. I mean, I'm sure there's different versions of micro. Again, there's probably a large spectrum of microdeletion, just like autism. Especially with the symptoms that Gypsy was having at the time. And, again, like people want to say like she knew she could eat, she didn't need the feeding tube. That's not true. She spent a month in an eating clinic before they decided to put that in there. No surgeon on the planet is going to ever perform surgery on a child because a charismatic mommy says so. You think she conned the insurance company too? They don't want to cover anything. And you think they're just like, yep, go ahead. The mom says so. Just go ahead and do it. We'll cover it. No,
And the
that's a
and the
fairy tale.
chemo. She says because they found in her medical records where it said chemo port, and then it talks about the chemo that was administered. And if to hear her tell that story, her mom just said, "Take my word for it."
No, that's
It's
not how the medical.
ridiculous.
That is not
It's
how the medical community.
ridiculous.
I've been in the medical community. That is a fairy tale. Do you know how many facets of the medical sectors you have to go through, including your insurance and all their adjusters and all their physicians that have to
I do
align
because
with
I
a
worked for
documented
them.
diagnosis?
Oh,
It's a complete fairy tale. I cannot believe out of her supporters, there's nobody in the medical community that's like, there's no way that would happen because
No.
they know how hard it is for somebody to get approved for surgery that actually needs it, let alone someone that apparently didn't need it several times over. It's like that would
That's
never
what I
happen.
do for a living, so it makes
Right.
me very, very angry.
Of course. It made a
I
lot of
can
people angry.
interject too, because one of the things that I noticed when my son started like exhibiting signs after he was 1 year old, and he didn't react to sound. So I would
Aw.
do things. I would literally like make like so many like crash bang sounds. Like I would take pots out of the counter and like slam them down, and if he's
Wait, did
sitting
you
on the
say
floor, he wouldn't
you
react. So I
have
was like,
POTS?
okay, maybe he's losing hearing. So I would call the doctor, and I'm like, let's
Did you
give
say
him a hearing
POTS?
test.
Nicole,
Do you not
did you
remember when Gypsy said that she went to the hearing test and her mom like gave her signs
Yeah.
to fake the hearing test, right? No,
That
that's
was
not
all
what happens.
her.
They go into a room by themselves. Okay, this was back in the day. They went in there, and my son had perfect hearing. And they're
what
like,
did you say
no.
about POTS? You said something about POTS?
I would take pots out of the kitchen and like slam them down
Oh, I thought you were
to
talking
see
about
if
the
he would
POTS
react to
disease.
it.
I thought you were talking about the condition POTS because that's what Mackenzie Shirilla is trying to use as an
Oh no,
exclusive
no,
now.
sorry,
I'm
no.
like, no.
I would
I'm like,
also
first of all, I
like.
know people with POTS and slamming the gas pedal down in like a stiff position is not. It relaxes your body. You faint when you like stand up. What's that
I'm
noise?
just saying, there's no way you can fake a hearing
Can someone mute
test.
the mic on whatever noise that is? I'm sorry, it's just really loud.
No, I'm just saying, there's no way you can fake a hearing test with a child
No, you
because
can't.
they go in there by themselves.
Yeah.
I was not in the room with my son, and they said his hearing was fine. So there's no way that Gypsy faked a hearing test.
No, I agree. You can't.
That's
fake
another
it.
thing that she lied about.
Right. And you know what? Like for all that haven't seen it yet, I've started a series a couple days ago called Gypsy Rose Debunking Herself. And I've already posted 4 parts to it. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, I would implore that you do.
Oh, I didn't know it was out already.
I've had, yeah, I'm up to, I
Oh,
put
good.
four of them out. So I've already done 4.
Awesome. I'm
And
excited. I want to go
I put
watch
some other
them.
stuff in there too. I put some other stuff in there too. So just for like a couple other posts today, a couple slapstick things. I have to get going for now because I have some other stuff. I have to get dinner get going. But other than that, like
Sounds
check
good.
those out. But I want to come back and I want to do like tomorrow possibly to do the hybristophilia like crash course basically. That's a very good idea. If you're going to
Yeah,
I want
Definitely.
to explain because again, it's very cohesive. It's got a lot of factors to it. It might explain. It might even not like sympathize, but it might explain like why somebody like Ryan, why somebody like Ken would get a hold of someone that they know is a violent criminal and is very troubled, and just in general, like it might even give you some understanding on some of the women that are really fawning over Wade Wilson, and the men that were going after Jodi Arias. I mean, same kind of thing. It could be like I said. There's a number of factors. I'm going to go over it with you guys, but for now, I'm going to get going. Esperanza, resting, Nicole. You guys have a great rest of your. Thanks for coming on panel for a little while, hanging out with
Thanks
me.
for bringing me up.
No problem. I'll see you guys a little later.
Take care. Bye.